To create a new online test, simply use the My Online Tests menu item in your profile, or the plus sign next to it. In the My Online Tests section, you can find both a list of previously created online tests, with the ability to filter by the test title, and a link to create a new online test. The process of adding a new test begins with filling in its title and description. The test title is mandatory, as it is sent to the Seafarer along with the link to take the test. And it is by the title that the Seafarer can understand what your test will be about. A list of positions allows you to specify for which rank of seafarers the test is intended. This will later help filter the created tests to quickly find those you want to send to a seafarer for completion. And most importantly, what any test consists of, the test questions and their answers. Next to each answer option, you can notice a checkbox indicating whether this answer is correct. This means you can add questions whose correct answer consists not only of one option but several. In this case, an answer to a question is considered correct only if the seafarer selects all the answer options you marked as correct. By default, fields for indicating 4 answer options for a question are displayed. If you need more options, you can display fields for 3 more options. You can also add a picture to any question. After filling in the question details, you can add a new question to the test by pressing the Add Question button. Pressing this button not only displays fields for adding a new question but also automatically saves your test. Thus, you can be assured that after filling in all the test questions, saving it will not fail for any reason. Let's add a few more questions to the test. This time, let's also change the time given for completing a specific question. By default, 1 minute is given for each question, but you can specify your own value. Later, the time for completing each question is summed up into the total test time. The resulting sum of minutes is given to the seafarer to complete the entire test. However, it's worth noting that the time limit is only conditional. Even if the seafarer does not manage to finish the test within the specified time, they can still continue to take it. If you forget to specify at least one correct answer while filling in the answers, you will be notified of this when saving the test, or when adding a new question. I think that's enough questions. Now let's finally save the test. This action is not necessary if you have not changed anything in the test since the last autosave, but it makes it easier to move to the section with the list of your tests. So, we now have a card for our test. This card provides a unique link to the test. You can copy it to the clipboard and send it via email, or in any other way, to any seafarer. You can also change the test link itself. For example, if you notice that seafarers whom you definitely did not send the link to are taking the test. After changing the test link, all previously sent links to the test will stop working. Let's look at the test page itself. To do this, just press the View Test button. The picture we added to the question has not disappeared. The test description is located in a separate tab. It's important to consider that the seafarer taking the test may not open this tab. So, it's best not to include anything very important in the description. Or, inform the seafarer that they should read the test description to correctly complete it. Let's try to take the test. Not the best result. But now we know what the seafarer will see when taking our test. If you have paid access to Seafarer's contact information, you can send any of your tests to any seafarer from the resume database directly through the website. To do this, select the Request to Take CES Test item from the action list on the Seafarer's card. In one email, you can send the seafarer links to take any number of tests. And not only those created by you, but also public tests available on the site. However, keep in mind that the more tests you ask the seafarer to take, the less likely they are to agree to do so. You can sort your list of tests by position for which the test is intended. Public tests can be sorted not only by position but also by the type of ship. After you press the button to send the tests, the email to the Seafarer will be queued for sending. In the Mass Mailings section of your profile, you can see the result of sending your email. You can also see what the email sent to the Seafarer looks like. Let's now imagine we are the Seafarer who received the email asking to take the tests. Here's the email we received. The email shows a list of tests you are asking the Seafarer to take. There are also 2 links, to agree to take the tests and to refuse. The Seafarer does not need to be logged in or registered on the site to use these links. But suppose they agree to take the test. I will copy the link and paste it into the address bar of the browser, as Opera is not my default browser. The page for final agreement to take the tests opens in the Seafarer's language. Let's switch to the English interface of the site. So, we confirm our agreement to take the test. And a list of links to take the tests opens up. Clicking on a link will take us to the test-taking page. However, the test-taking process is available only after registration and login on the site. This is necessary to determine exactly which Seafarer took the test. Let's switch to a different browser and log into the Seafarer's account on the site. If the Seafarer has tests they have agreed to take but have not yet taken, notifications about this will be displayed on their personal page, and they can easily proceed to take the test. Our test has 4 questions, but we allocated 3 minutes for one of the questions. Thus, the total time for taking the test turned out to be 6 minutes. As soon as the Seafarer performs any actions on the page, the timer starts. Let's take the test as a Seafarer. Once the Seafarer finishes the test, information about this will be sent to us. We can also see this in the test results section. Let's return to the company account to look at this section. If the Seafarer passed the test, their card is highlighted in color, and a link to the Seafarer's answers appears on it. Among the data on the card, you can see the test result, the date of completion, and the time spent on completion. If you go to the link, you will see all the Seafarer's answers, as well as the correct answers to the questions, if the Seafarer answered incorrectly. If the Seafarer fits your criteria based on the test results, you can proceed to their resume, and continue working with the Seafarer from the resume page.